store. He's making history. He takes the foolish things to confound the wise. Took this dead man and raised it back to life. He is moving. My God is moving. Oh, he's doing something new. Can't you see? He's doing something with you and me. He's making something. It's his story. It's his story. It's his story. He's doing something new. He's doing something. Oh, can't you see? He's doing something.
How are you? Like, because today you might be good and today you might not be good. But, we hope that, from our conversation on today, from the words that are spoken, that you become good and you walk away with something good.
Amen. And you're listening to Fridays with Ty.
Where I work at. But sometimes I'll be looking at the ages of people and I'm just like, God bless you. Like this one lady, she said, I feel old. And he said, I'll say, I was like, well, look at you. He was like 94, had his wits about him, still was driving, everything. And his wife was 97, still have her wits about her. Girl, that was just a surprise. I don't know what. I'm just like, I get it, but like I said, sometimes it's just about that insurance, it's about that money. The man said to me yesterday, he said, I looked at all the cars in the parking lot and I said to my wife, my doctor just got a new boat. And I just started laughing. I was like, that is so sad, but that's what that was his thought process.
Wow. It's deep because it's true.
So I'm thankful that I do work there because it's an opportunity for me to minister. It's an opportunity for me to be a light. It's an opportunity to kind of change somebody's atmosphere because some people come in there hangry. Some people come in there with an attitude. Some people come in there in pain. Some people frustrated because they've been going through something for so long and they still haven't figured out what's wrong with them. I get to I'm 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm alert. I'm happy. I don't pray. You know what I mean? Because I make sure before I walk in the building, that's what I'm doing. And then after that, it's like, I greet them cheerfully, but because you don't know what somebody needs. It's that a bright good morning, a smile on your face, and even if they come in huffy, I set them straight.
Right.
And laughing and always like, oh, what's your name again? But it's just like, sometimes you have to learn how to read. You have to learn how to read people too. You know what I'm saying? So if they come off, they're not being rude on purpose, something's wrong. It's not personal. So, and it's just like when I try to get my coworker to understand that she always huffy. And I'm just like, and she gets exasperated, like if they're older, or if it's something where they're taking too long, or they may seem a little off, or a little, she might think they're being rude or aggressive. And I'm like, sometimes if you really pay attention and read the person, it's not personal. They're nervous, or they had a bad night. They didn't sleep well because they had to prepare for the procedure. Some people haven't eaten for 48 hours, nothing to eat or drink. You know what I mean? So they come in there and they don't come into the afternoon. So, some people it's not personal.
Yeah.
So you got to know when to ask certain questions and when not to ask certain questions. Busy not paying attention, so just used to doing it. And sometimes we got to stop being just moving. Sometimes you got to really see a person and hear a person and just, pay attention to a person to know when to ask certain questions and not to answer. I know who's widowed. I just know. I know who's married. I know who's not. So when I ask the question, I just do it and I go through it. But it's nothing was ever offensive. If somebody tell me, in the process of, well, I just lost my son, or we both retired, or something like that, or I just lost my, I'm sympathetic to them. If they want to speak, I let them speak because I know it's something they need to do. But I get that opportunity. Sometimes some people just need to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just trying to rush through, getting them registered. Sometimes you gotta let that person have an extra little bit of time just so they can get out what they need to say.
Right.
And then you get to share something with them. That's that love and support. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes that's a support for somebody. That's a support system for somebody. That's that love that God is talking about. Like stop being such a rush that you can't help meet the needs of a person because you so caught up in your own stuff that you don't recognize that somebody else might need a little bit of help at this particular moment and just know how to put yourself to the side. Right. God wants us to really be those people when we walk in something, you know, and be supportive of one another in the right way. There's so many different ways of it, but I just think, you know, I'm thankful that I'm able to be somebody something, a light for them before their procedure or something. Or when they come out, they remember me. They like, oh, I'll see you later. They remember that. Just a little bit of kindness.
Right. You recognize their need for support.
Yes, but it is. But you know, sometimes people don't cry out for the support. They don't just come out and tell you that they need that. They might need, or you know, there's so many different levels of it. That's why when you tap into God and you're operating in the gifts and you're serving His sheep, you know what I'm saying? You learn that. You know that spirit of discernment really helps you get a better understanding of that, because you really, you know, you don't want to carry the world on your shoulders, but you don't want to be so boggled down or so burdened down that you can't be helpful to someone else spiritually. This is why we have to be freed up. This is why we have to, our walk was hard, and we had to find support systems and support groups through therapy, through what else did we do? Retreats. You know, you did different things where you had just regular, just sitting there talking to someone, just letting something out, just journaling, different kinds of things with different mechanisms that helped you through some situations, different types of places where you could reach out to support, where you could go to support groups, or, you know, anything where it was something different in that particular manner. You know, we have it in a natural, and I think that, but when people are afraid to speak it, you use the gifting that God has placed in you to be able to give it to them without even mentioning it. And because sometimes some people are so afraid to ask for that, that, you know, there's some that think that you're too busy to get the support they need, or you think you can't understand, or reasons on why people don't speak and ask for what they need. And it comes to, you know, when it comes to that kind of situation, some type of support system in some way, shape, or form. And then sometimes when you have a support system, especially when that has been broken, and it's hard to put yourself back out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Another support system, because it's just like, now you're dealing with trust issues on top of that. Now I need support for my trust issues. You know what I mean? But it's just hard. But this is why when you do get to that place and you're healed and you're walking free, you get closer into God and you tap more in. You really got to pay attention to people. Just like God had people that you were assigned to, that was assigned to, or you know, who was assigned, and they sat there and they read us. They took the time to get closer with us, to help us to get that, you know, to that next step.
Right. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, they saw that we were willing. You know, willingness is not just like a checkbox. It's a spectrum from us being hesitant to want to seek support or embrace it, to like wholeheartedly, like you said, when you heal, to wholeheartedly embrace being willing to seek support mentally, physically, and spiritually. And they gave that support. So in order for us to know, for me to know how to seek it, someone had to be brave enough and bold enough to give it. So like you on your job, you're brave enough and bold enough to that first line of support for them. Because, you know, going into surgery is scary, right? No matter what type of surgery it is, it's scary. So to have someone willing to be a support for you is a major thing. And not all places that you go to, people are kind and nice.
Especially nowadays, it's just like, it just seems to be more and more people are so grumpy and rude and, unprofessional, cold, uncaring, and some people are they're just tired because they overworked.
Yeah.
Because you're cross training them, but you're cross training them for like 12 different things.
Right.
You know,
for one little salary. You're not even paying them the proper salary for 12 things.
exactly. You know, and these people are burnt out and they trying to live their lives and still, you know, and manage things, and you want blood, sweat, and tears from people.
Yeah.
And no, you can't do that to people. We have to be fair and we have to recognize it. So, you know, it's just like, I pray for people too. It's like if I'm doing a different position, even when I was doing when I was doing verifications, and I had to call people and tell them they owe money like the day before their procedure, you know, I was very pleasant. But and they was very nice in that, you know, in their giving, or even how when it came to the point if we had to, you know, work an agreement or something. But I was pleasant in that, you know, my tone was pleasant because I was understanding. It's like when they need that support. So it's like sometimes, it's some people are embarrassed to ask for financial, help or support or assistance if they need, because it's that, you know what I mean? So it's just like when you can hear it when you deliver the news, you know how to deliver. You don't just go in this film like, and I need this money right now, and da da da. And I'm just like, that's not how you talk to somebody and you offer something to somebody, or you tell them this is what you need to bring in tomorrow and you're rude to them. No, you talk to them and give them, let them know there's other options, let them know what it is first, but you be understanding of that. So even when I did it from the part of the financial side, I was still being a person like in a financial help, because I was other giving them other avenues, giving them, explaining certain things and doing different things in that way. And or I would try to call them within enough time so they can get what they needed. Because you don't
Mhm.
call for and say, oh, you owe $3,000 and it's due tomorrow.
That's right. Well, that's when it becomes an obligation. Your support, sometimes when people know that they have to provide some type of support to people, it's more of an obligation. You know what I mean? It's not something that they really, really are genuine in wanting. It's, I'm obligated to do this, so I don't care how my tone is. I have no other choice but to do it. So you're going to get it the way I want to do it.
I don't want to be that obligation support. I want to be that loving support, that genuine support, that person. I want to be, and I've always said that, I want to be what I needed
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on all those different levels in my life, on all those different places where I hurt, all those different places where I felt lonely, I felt lack, where I was looking for something or someone to give me some guidance. I want to be that for someone else. You know,
Right.
however I can be supportive in any way spiritually. You okay, listen, however you want to get to that place, studying, getting an understanding, worshiping, praise, however, just discussion, just talking, whatever, asking questions, answering questions, teaching and learning one to one another. That's fine. If you want to do spiritual, physical, listen, I will work out with you to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be that supportive person with you if I'm able to, you know what I mean? Help you in that different way, give you guidance on, eating better, different things, or, certain things in that particular manner, what I know, or good exercises that can help your body, or, doing something, in a healthier, more conscious way, just different things in that way. And if it's about your mental, listen, this is you using God, you're talking to God, you're in a place of prayer. But let me tell you something, you need a little more, I think you need a little bit more.
Right.
So, you a group setting? Do you want to be in a personal setting? Or are you looking for something like this, more like this? I can have way options on what they're looking for, what they need. But if it needs to be mental, I'm going to help push you in that. And or not, when you go to your doctor, talk to your doctor. Maybe they might have to suggest this for you. They might even suggest medication. And it doesn't have to be long term, but it could be something to assist you in this. You know what I mean? So it's just like when you have, however I am able to be that. If I'm able to give for financial support and I have that, I do that. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
do somebody is important. Like I said, what I needed to be, what I needed somebody to be. Sometimes I just need that supportive hug. Just hold me up.
Yes, man. Yes. Can I get a hug? Yes. Like what triggers you and says, okay, I need to reach out to somebody. Because I know for me as a strong, independent individual, right? Because that's how we were raised and how we grew up. I knew that there wasn't really too many people that I could go to for support, because when I did go, or if I tried to, I was always like shot down because they couldn't handle their emotions properly. So I never really went to anybody for support much because I couldn't really trust anyone.
Understand that wholeheartedly.
Right. But now there's times where I'm just like, nah, I need to talk to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
because I see all these things happening, me getting overwhelmed, me getting frustrated, me yelling. You know what I mean? Those things, which some people may think are little things or just, everyday common things. To me, those things are, Terry, you need to talk to somebody. You need to pray. You need to have a conversation with somebody so that you can speak what you're feeling. Those are signs to me that make me notice that I need to reach out. Because a lot of times we're always expecting somebody to just reach out to us and check on us, but let's be real. It's not always going to happen. Because people are living their lives and they have their own issues as well. But we have to work on knowing, okay, I need to seek support. I need to be willing, not hesitant and waiting for somebody just to reach out to me, but I need to be wholeheartedly willing to just be like, hey, can I talk? Or God will lay somebody on my heart to be like, yo, call them. So I'll call them. And then in the middle of calling them, I get what I need. So hearing the voice of God and allowing it to really permeate through the darkness, through the noise and the chaos, to be obedient and be like, okay, I'm going to pick that phone up and call them. And then get my healing, my blessing, get the support I need.
Really, and that's so much the key. Like it was all different levels and phases for me, because it was just like you said, I never had that support system. I never had anybody that I could trust that I can share anything with, so it was a long time before I even tried to share stuff with people. And when I did, it always like came back to bite me in the behind, to say, or it was twisted, or it became something else, or other people were told my business, just like that. Just like, it was just a lot of different things. But every time it was always something that came back hurtful toward me. So that's when I'm not telling nobody nothing. So it's just like I carried everything, and it would weigh heavy on me. And there would be so much at some point in my time that in my life that, I became very, I was suicidal. And then I still didn't seek any support. Who really cares enough to want to see me live? Because nobody cares. They wouldn't, I could go missing tomorrow and nobody would care less. That's how alone I felt. So I remember one of my attempts, I reached out for some support, and I just, tried to tell my story. Like, I just tried to kill myself, and a part of me wanted to die, and a part of me wanted to live. And I need help. And that's what I said. And it was just like, it started off like it was a support thing for a little bit, but then it just kind of became more about them and less about me. And I was becoming a support system to them. So just like, and that was also another thing. It always was like always being there for someone else, but never having anyone really there for you. Weren't wholehearted, or they weren't really genuine about it. It was always something, so it was really hard. And those different times, I remember one time my only support was Jesus. That was my only support. And I knew it had to be a spiritual thing because I just felt like I was about to lose my mind. It was just a really insane time in my life, when it was like going through my divorce, and all these different things was coming out, and all this stuff. And I just felt like broken inside, but I didn't have anybody, because everybody literally that was there physically abandoned me. And and it happened to be a day, and it was just like so many things happened. And I remember I just fell to my knees, and I got Jesus. Like, I need you. That's the only thing I had. I need his support. I need him to lift me up, to support me, hold me. That's what I need. I need to be held. Hold me up. I can't do this. Like, because I can't carry myself. Take this off of me. Like, why am I going through this? Like, I don't understand. Like, what did I do? Like, it was just those things. But at the same time, it's more than anything, God, just hold me. Can you hold your daughter and carry me? Because I have no parent to stand on. I have nobody naturally to hold me. And all I have is you. Can you hold me, help me? And spiritually, just, it helped strengthen me, because it's just like, because I began to lean more on God, more and more on God. It's like, the more it's like I couldn't get that, the more I would lean to God. So now it's like, and then when God put me in a place of trusting the God in people, and putting me in the right place around the right people, there's certain people that now, that we have this rapport and we have this connection in a way that I know I can trust them, and everything is all good. If I reach out to them or something. So if it's a day where I feel heavy, and I feel like, okay, like I've been feeling like this for maybe 3 days now. I don't like this. So let me reach out somebody, or because it's starting to weigh heavy on me. Like, no matter what I do, I can't shake it. So it's like, okay, I need to, am I crazy? And it's just like by day 4, or, I'm just like, okay, I don't like it. So I need to reach out to someone. So before it would take me weeks, it would take me months. Well, now it's a couple of days. You see, that's growth, that's maturity. So now I'll try to seek out however I need that help in whatever area without being ashamed, without being fearful, without being prideful. But whatever I need, if I needed to go to the doctor for something, is I will call and this is what I need, or I need to come in for a visit for this and discuss this and do whatever I need to do in that way and have a medical therapeutic moment. But she was my doctor is that way where she's saved, so it's like I get the medical and the spiritual at the same time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
So now I'm quick with it now. Before, like I said, it took me a while. It was some pulling of the teeth. And sometimes I just suffered in silence for a long time. But now it's just like I understand it was a trick of the enemy. If I kept myself separated and isolated, I wouldn't mature and I wouldn't grow and I wouldn't have understanding. I wouldn't really operate in the power and authority. I wouldn't operate in a place. So I get myself right so I can be there for somebody else. So I had to get when as I what seemed like it was meant to kind of mess me up, it really put me more closer to God. As it's like, and I recognized and realized, okay, I had to separate from these people because God had to do something with me, and God had to separate me from some people because it was some things that that needed to be severed. Some things are reasons and seasons, and because I felt like I had nobody, I would hold on to people way longer than I needed to, thinking they were my support, but they weren't.
Right.
I'm thankful for the maturity but that was a spiritual growth. That was spiritual maturity. I'm
Right.
as able to go to God much quicker. I'm able to go to someone much quicker. I'm able to tap in quicker than like I said, it's not a fight for me no more. I'm
Yeah.
not me doesn't make me feel embarrassed or ashamed for feeling the way that I feel because I'm saved and I know the Lord. You know what I mean? Like I know and I know all the weapons, but I'm also a human being. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes you have moments, and sometimes life does beat you up. You know,
Yes.
you got everything coming at you from all different directions. It does get heavy. You single parent, or you're dealing with you're grieving some type of relationship or the loss of a loved one in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of different things we go through. You might be in a financial struggle. You might be carrying somebody else's situations because sometimes we don't know how to let go and just give it to God. We trying to figure it out for people, but whatever our situation is just like no, if I tap into God and I stay close to that, I know that I need to do this with the right support. So I have to be what I've always needed. And that's what is important. I tap in quicker because it's important for you. It's important for the lady next door, the man across the street, the person, my coworker. It's important for the patient. It's important for me to be what's needed at any given time. However I'm meant to be supportive, that's what I'm going to do. However I'm meant to seek it, I seek it, and I seek God first. Like, God, tell me, like, who do I need to speak to? Because sometimes you can't just call everybody.
Right.
And sometimes you have certain people for certain things, if that makes sense.
Yes, of course it does.
Like you call and you just be like, I'll go to God, be like, God, like, and he'll lay on my spirit who I need to call, or before I even lay it, I'm like, who? And next thing somebody, that person's calling me.
Uh-huh.
Conversation, but because I do that now and I'm in tune with him, I hear quicker
Yes.
and I'm more, before I would be embarrassed or I would be ashamed, or like I said, because when you were seeking the support and what looked like was supportive, but really wasn't, it makes you harder to want to, trust people, like you said, but also makes you harder to want to share your story because sometimes you are made to feel embarrassed.
Of course.
Bad that you're in a situation or you're in a struggle or you're still battling that, and you just be like, that's not how you talk to people. Sometimes, sometimes it's hard. It's a harder struggle than people think. And it's hard to get the support because if you come from a certain culture, you didn't talk about nothing.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. That cultural that cultural piece is huge, especially I think, I mean, I can only talk about the Black community, but yeah, we didn't what happens in the house stays in the house. You know what I mean? You don't
Now
go,
that
go ahead.
so we wasn't allowed to have support, let alone even think of the word support. It was it was just something we didn't do. We were just so prideful as a people.
Yes, and
We were
private. Yeah.
Jesus, but that was our imprisonment. You know what I mean? Our pride what killed us. Pride is what broke us. It did a lot of things to us. And sometimes our pride carried us, but it was just that we never did it. You see so many men still who won't cry. And they still believe men don't cry, and I'm like, that's that chain holding you. That you're in a place of bondage. That's a lie.
Yeah, you're
You know,
not free. Yep.
it's not true. You need that support. You need to be around other people. You need to have sometimes you need other men to be supportive of you. I can't, if you're a single parent or you this, that, or other, you need to be supportive in your community, any type of way that you can. But we were so busy keeping everything secrets and everybody was doing stuff out of order. And, we didn't come together. It was like oh, you light skinned, I'm dark skinned, I don't like you.
Right.
That makes sense. But we was against each other in so many ways. And it was just so many different things that we were bound to, so many fears and phobias and lies and misguidedness and things from our from generation after generation we carry. And it's like, well, my mama did it, so I'm gonna do it.
So
My mama,
yeah. Yeah,
I,
didn't seek support, so I'm not going to seek support. And even if you try to be a cycle breaker, you know what I mean, and you go back to that generation and let them know that, hey, I'm seeking support, you should too. The amount of backlash you could receive, those cultural influences really affect our willingness to seek support, because it's like I really want to, but I also don't want my family to treat me nasty.
you don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
You don't want to be out there by yourself. You at least if I could deal with the trauma with my family. We could be toxic as a family. We could be broken as a family, but we still a family. You know, some people and they think that support, that's not healthy. It's just that when you break away, don't be ashamed of seeking help. Somebody has to start the generational curse cycle. Somebody has to be the example to say that this is okay. Somebody has to show somebody else how to love, how to be supportive, how to be understanding, how to be, encouraging, how to be just to be there for someone any way, shape, or form. But my thing is, somebody has to show somebody what healing looks like. So you take the first step. So when you do it, even as you're right, you're going to take the backlash, but it's at some point you have to stand up and say, okay, I'll take that. I'll take the beating from you. But
Right.
at the be an example. Just like Jesus. Jesus was an example. He took the beating, but he stood an example. That's why we follow him today.
Mhm.
And that's the important thing about it. That's what it's all about. We gotta be an example. There's gonna be people that's gonna persecute us. There's gonna be people that that don't agree with us. There's gonna be people that you know that are happy for us and like, I want that, and they'll go get it for themselves. You know what I mean? And they'll listen, or there might be that support for us. So whatever we have to play that game is all at the end of the day is all about allowing God and the kingdom to get the glory, and for us to help others to be set free and healed however way possible. And if it's helping someone get the support they need, giving them guidance, giving them resources, giving them the information, pointing them in the right direction of what they need or who they need to be around for what they need, then that's what we do. Being supportive sometimes meaning letting go. Like, you don't mean, oh, I let me do this, let me help you with this. No, all you gotta do is just be a guide and let go. They're not your project. That's all you gotta do. And let next level, because it's not about you, it's about them. So that's another thing, because some people don't, they want the accolades, like, oh, I did that. You didn't do nothing. All you did was give me a name.
Mm.
That, but you didn't heal me. The going to where I went to, you gave me a suggestion and I followed through with it. I heard what you said. I
Right.
went to,
Right.
they
You don't get the credit for it.
try to get that. But there's some people who hold on because they're waiting for their accolades. They're waiting for you to say, I did that. Like, or if it wasn't for you, no, if it wasn't for the, therapy and me finding God and me seeing this, or trying to find a spiritual connection and making myself line up whole heart on 3 ways, mental, spiritual, and physical, I wouldn't have got there. But because you sent me, you gave me a recommendation, or you pointed me in the right direction, which means, or either you pointed, you planted the seed, or you watered it. But at the end, when it's all said and done, God gave the increase.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Was the ultimate support. You was the guide and the support that I needed.
Right,
And
the conduit. Yeah.
but at the end of the day, God was the ultimate support when it's all said and done, because he led me to the right person that I needed to help me mentally. I got physically, I got led to with the person that needed to help me financially. So you know what I'm saying? Like, everything connects. God will line it up for you in that particular way. Whatever you need, he will supply it.
We shouldn't think of it as a task, but as an invitation for freedom and transformation.
Absolutely. It's so important.
Yeah.
So those people, they're not going to be happy that you was the one that took the first step. So they're going to think, oh, you think you're better than us? I don't think I'm better than you. I'm just trying to show you a better way. I want better for me.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, whether you want to see it's a better way or not, I that's up to you. I just want a better way for me. Hands down, I want a better way for everybody, but ultimately I'm healing because I want to be better. I want a better way. I don't want to struggle. I don't want to go through this circle and the cycle and the highs and lows and the ups and downs every single day. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I want more good weeks than I want bad weeks. I want more great months than I had bad months. Like, I'm doing this to help myself. And in return, yes, it does help you if you let it.
And that's if you let it. That's it. That's it. If you let it. That's what it all boils down to. It's like you got to say, I always say better, not bitter. Better, not broken.
Yes.
So we strive for better. And it's just like, I want that to start somewhere for the bloodline. I want that to start somewhere for people. I want that to start somewhere for somebody in their life, and it's never too late to get the support you need.
Right.
I don't care how old you may be. And some people think, oh, I'm too old for that. You're never too old to heal.
Yeah.
You are never too old to heal. You're never too old to be set free or delivered or to be saved. And for that matter, you're never too old. It's never too late.
Yeah.
You took your last breath before you even spoke it. So some of the things like, no, but it's not late. If you still got breath in your body and you still here, it's never too late to get what you need. And so you can be free and be healed. And I think that's why it's so important, like I said, to be whatever somebody needs at that moment that they need it, because you don't know how good it felt for them, or how much they needed it, how much it was necessary. And you don't have to know a person to be supportive.
You're absolutely correct.
I don't have to know you. The one lady, she was having a situation while she was having a procedure. Her father was in the hospital fighting for his life. So her mother was at the hospital while her grandma was at the place for her.
Mhm.
And her, what's your father's name? Told me. And we sat right there, and I prayed for her father right there. And I prayed for her family. And she would say, thank you so much. And she got teary eyed. I said, no, you don't have to worry while you're going in there. Okay?
Mhm.
Just be calm and relaxed. But just know that you're not alone. I'm praying with you. And she said, I feel so much better now. She said, I'm glad I came and sat with you. Because the other lady could have called her up there, but it was meant for her to sit with me. So I
Yes.
was in that way.
I love when that happens. And I make sure I let them know, I'm so glad I sat with you today. I'm so glad I got you today. I'm so glad I stood in this line today, so that they know that please keep going.
Absolutely.
You were exactly what I needed at that moment, because I hear that other lady over there talking and I probably would have quite an attitude with her and walked out. You know what I mean? Like, that's a real thing.
Because people don't know somebody else's, like I said, you don't know what's going on to somebody's mental or what they're dealing with while they're sitting in that chair.
Right.
So once again, it's always like, I tell people, read the room. Like, you know what I mean?
Read the room. Just read the room. Are you reading the room, or are you reading the thoughts in your mind that have nothing to do with me? That I have no idea what you're thinking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stop. We have to get away from self. and really have to, tap in. When we get to that place and we grow and we mature, the more we mature, you get more away from self and you get more in tune with God. But as you're more in tune with God, you're doing it because you want to feed his sheep.
Yeah.
You want to do, you want to feed them. You want to help them get to where they need to be free. You want them to, God, go get the other ones. While we over here, we watching, while you buckling down, while you go get that other one. We right here with you.
Yeah.
You got the warriors that's praying. You got your warriors you got the people that's teaching. Whatever it is, why you have to go off. We right here with you with the 99. We right there with you, we fighting. But that's the important part. That knows that he can trust those that why he is getting up that one. It's gonna be okay. Because I know I got my people in place that's on their assignment and they're about their father's business.
Right.
What's important. So we're gonna continue to feed the sheep. We're not gonna just let them just open up the gate and just let them all go wander off.
Right.
They all over. I thought I told you. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what you wanted me to do. No, yeah. But when you know, it's like because you, like I said, at one point in time, it was you he was going to get.
Yes, thank God.
Thank God for him going to come to get you as one. He saw you as one, but you was one enough for him to come to want to bring back to the fold. And that's what it's about. So us being supportive in that way, so God can do what he needs to do for you and for the next person. That's what it all boils down to. Just God getting the glory. So however we can do what we're supposed to do, as the people to be supportive in any way, we got to remember God is going to be the most supportive because he's not only going to support them, but he's going to support us and on our journey. He's going to support us because we're operating our ministry, operating our calling. He's going to supply us with what we need to do the work that he needs us to do. So he's going to be us, so we don't have to worry about nothing. That's how I look at it.
Amen. I like it. And if I got anything, stay prayed up, stay willing, and stay open. Vulnerable. Yeah. And the support will come and you'll be able to give support. You've been listening to Fridays with Ty on Shift the Narrative podcast. Listen, I pray one day you'll see the need to shift the narrative in your mind. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. Because you are worth it. I am thankful and grateful for each and every one of you that has joined us today and every day. As always, I'm your host and fellow freedom fighter, Tyria. We will see you again, and thanks for listening to Fridays with Ty on Shift the Narrative podcast. Be free, y'all. Be free.